Hey guys, so last time that we had school in math class specifically, I don't know if I mentioned it, but we were supposed to be having a test the next Monday. Now, of course, it didn't happen. So, you guys were supposed to have a test today, like Tuesday. But I'm not going to give you a test today because we just had like 2 weeks off of school, and I'm sure that you guys forgot everything. I know I had to go back and like refresh on what we learned too. So what I'm going to do is this video specifically is not today's lesson, but it's a review to get you ready for the test. And I put a few problems up here on the board, as you can probably see, to make sure that we are ready for the test, because it's probably going to be tomorrow. So that, yeah, probably tomorrow is when we're going to do it. So just want to do a couple problems up here just to review, get you an idea of what to expect on the test tomorrow so that you can do a little bit of review, maybe do a couple more problems than this. Okay, these are not the problems on the test, but they're problems like this on the test that you should expect to see. So I wanted to start over here. Now, there is also one 4-digit problem on the test, but there's 2 3-digit division problems. So there's 2 that are like this, and then 1 that's a bigger number. So make sure you guys are prepared for that. I know it's been a while. That's why we're doing this review. Okay, so of course our steps are divide, multiply, subtract, compare, bring down, and if you bring down, of course, you go right back to the top and start those steps all over again. Okay, so we're going to start with 6 into 5. Now, 6 will not go into 5 any number of times. So we're going to say 6 will go into 5 0 times. So 6 will go into 5. Above that 5, I'm going to write 0. Now, you guys may remember this. We do have a potential shortcut that we could do. Now, I know some of you don't like the shortcut. Some of you do like it. We're going to do it with the shortcut this time. Okay? So if we weren't doing the shortcut, we would do multiplying 6 times 0, put 0 right here. We'd subtract 5 minus 0 is, of course, 5. 5 is smaller than 6, and then we bring down the 3. We're not going to do that. We're just going to say 6 will go into 5 0 times. Okay? If it went into it 0 times, we can skip all of these steps. Go right back to division. We're going to go 6 into this 3 right here. But did we use this 5 yet? No, we didn't use a 5. So we're going to go 6 will go into not just 3, 6 will go into 53. So 6 will go into 53 how many times? Okay, we know our 6's, okay? 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 9 is 54. Okay, so if we did 6 into 53 9 times, that would be 54. 54 is bigger than 53, so that's not going to work. So we can't use 9. We're going to have to use 8, right? Okay, so 6 will go into 53. We're going to say 8 times. We're not putting the 8 above the 5, putting the 8 above the 3. So putting an 8 right up here. 6 will go into 53 8 times. Going to do my next step. 8 times 6 is, right, 6 times 8 is, good, 48. And then we're going to do our next step, subtract. 53 minus 48, well, 3 minus 8 is, we can't do that. So we're going to have to take this 5. 5 is going to become 4. Now this 3 is going to get 1, so this 3 is a 13. 13 minus 8 is, good, 5. 4 minus 4 is, of course, 0. And is 5 smaller than 6? So is that a good comparison? Good. So after we compare, we're going to bring down is 2 gets brought down. I'm gonna just step over here. So now it is 6 into 52, good. 6 will go into 52. Okay, again, 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 9 is 54. We went over 52. So 6 is not going to go into 52 9 times because that would be too big. Because that would be 54. So we're going to have to go with one less than that. So let's try 8. So we're going to go 6 will go into 8. I'm sorry, 6 will go into 52 8 times. Okay. 8 times 6 is, good, 48. Okay, now we're doing the same thing. We're going to subtract. 52 minus 48, 2 minus 8 is, no, we can't do it. So 5 is going to, I'm sorry, oops. We're going to have to borrow. 5 is going to become 4. 2 is going to become 12. I know it might be a little bit hard to see. I'm sorry. There's not much I can do about that. I'm sorry. 12 minus 8 is, what's 12 minus 8? Okay. 12 minus 8 is 4. Is 4 smaller than 6? Good. So we compare. Is there any more numbers for us to bring down? There's not any more numbers. So we're going to say this is my, good, remainder. Now, I know that before we have written remainder as a fraction. We're not necessarily going to do that here. So we're just going to put R period 4. Okay? If I was going to write a remainder as a fraction, how would I do that? I would take my remainder down here. That would become my numerator. So it would be, my answer is 88. And I would write my remainder on the top. And then what number would be my denominator? Does anyone remember? Right. This number over here, my divisor is my denominator. Always, always, always. Whenever we're writing our remainder as a fraction, this number right here, whatever it might be, is going to be my denominator when I'm writing as fraction. So it'd be 88 and 4/6. Okay? Like I said, we're not going to have to do that on the test, but just to review. Okay, another thing is we will have to check this, but I trust that you already know how to check. We're just taking my answer, 88, multiplying it by this number out here, 88 times 6. Okay, let's do it down here actually. Okay, usually checking would be over here, but I just don't have enough room on the board for that right now. 8 times 6 is, we already said it was 48. And then 8 times 6 is still 48 plus 4. 48 plus 4 is 52. Okay, plus my, plus my remainder, which is 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. And then bring that 5 on down. Do my numbers match? I know it's kind of hard for you to see it because it's kind of cut off in the video, but my numbers do match. A check mark. My work is checked. Okay? This kind of problem, you're going to see more than just this. You will also have the only fractions and of course only whole numbers, but we of course know how to do that. And you'll also see subtracting. You'll see adding and subtracting. This one is adding, but this there's also going to be subtracting. And remember, with my fractions, I'm going to add my numerator, this top number, add my numerator. Am I adding my denominator or subtracting my denominator? No, not denominator. So in this case, it would be that 12, 12, and 12. We're not touching it, we're just copying it down. So that would be a good first thing to do with this kind of problem. If we're going to do our fraction first, I already know my bottom number is going to be 12. So if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to say, okay, I'm adding these fractions together. Top number is 1, top number is 3, top number is 5. 1 plus 3 is, right, 4, plus 5 is, good, 12. I'm sorry, not 12. I just saw the number 12 and said 12. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 5 is, right, it's 9. That was my mistake. 9. That was a good catch. Good catch. Okay? Now we have my whole number is 6 and 35 and 11. Okay? So we're going to do 6 plus 35 plus 11. Start with our ones place, of course. 6 plus 5 is, good, 11. Plus 1 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 gets put down here. Carried 1. Plus a 3 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. Okay, so my answer would be 52 and 9/12. Now, this is just kind of impromptu thing. This fraction right here, now this is my answer for this problem. But if I were to only have that fraction, and I were to have that fraction written down, and I said, make this fraction right here needs to be reduced. You will see reducing on your test, so you will need to know it. So let's go ahead and practice that. If I say this fraction needs to be reduced, let's just write it down underneath. 9/12 equals blank, right? That's the kind of reducing that we'd seen. This looks like it needs to be angled better, so you can just see it a little bit better. Okay. I don't know if that's much better, but I tried. Okay, so 9/12, wanting to look at my top number and my bottom number, what number can be divided into both numbers? Okay, let's try 2. Okay, 2 can be divided into 12, because 2 times 6 is 12. But can 2 be divided into 9? No, you can't do 2 times something equals 9. You can't do 9 divided by 2 and get it out even. So 2 is not going to work. Let's try 3. Can 3 be divided into 9? Yeah, 3 times 3 is 9. Or 9 divided by 3 is 3. And can 3 be divided into 12? Yeah. 12 divided by 3 is 4, right. And 3 times 4 is 12. So underneath this, you can write 9/12 divided by, remember, when I'm reducing, I'm going to be dividing. Dividing or reducing is just making smaller, and dividing makes smaller, so we're just going to do that. So if I have this 9/12, what am I going to divide it by? I need to divide it by something that equals 1. Do you remember what kind of fractions equal 1? It's been a little while. Okay, any fraction that's one number over the same number is equal to 1. So 1/1 is equal to 1. 2/2 is equal to 1. 3/3 is equal to 1. So on and so forth. Even 100/100 is equal to 1. Okay, so I need to divide this fraction by another fraction that's equal to 1. What number did we say could go into both 9 and 12? Right, 3. So could I write my fraction as 9/12 divided by 3/3? Yeah, I could. And then I would just divide across the top, divide across the bottom. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, good. And 12 divided by 3 is, good, 4. So that would be my answer. So I would just write 9/12 equals 3/4. Okay? You're gonna have a whole section that looks like that, right? Yeah, I just checked on your test. I have it right next to me. Yeah, you will have a whole section that looks just like this. And you'll have to do it on your own. You'll have to come up with your own number. They don't give you the number. They want you to come up with it. So you need to figure that out on your own. Okay? You want to get some good review problems in with problems like this because you need to know how to do it. Okay? And lastly, you need to know how to do this. Now, these are not the only kind of problems on your test. There are other ones like Roman numerals. You need to know Roman numerals. I know a lot of you got Roman numerals down really, really well. It's just a matter of looking back in your book and knowing those Roman numerals and knowing, of course, like I, V. The I is 1, V is 5. If the smaller number is first, you're going to subtract. So that would be 4. Just things like that. Make sure you're updated with it. You need to know C and L and D and M and all of those. You need to know what they're equal to. Okay? If you don't know, you need to look it up in your book because it's in your book. Okay? Make sure you keep updated with that. Okay? And like I said, this problem. Now, this problem is just dividing. So, we're going to be dividing this number. Okay? Divide this number and 1/2. Not 1/2. Not 1/2. Just whatever this bottom number is. If this number is 5, then you're going to divide by 5. If it's 20, you're going to divide by 20. If it's 6, you're going to divide by 6. Okay, so we have 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Okay, keep in mind, when you see this kind of problem, is your answer going to be a fraction? Your answer is not a fraction. It's a whole number. Just like this 6 right here is a whole number. So make sure you keep that in mind. Okay? You will also need to know how to recognize whole numbers, which is just a number. Like these right here. Okay? Those are whole numbers. These right here are fractions. You need to recognize the difference between a whole number and a fraction, which, you know, like I said, that's the whole number, that's the fraction. If the number is written together like this 6 and 1/12, that's a mixed number because you're mixing together a whole number and a fraction. So keep that in mind. Let me check. Okay, you need to know multiplying, dividing, adding and subtracting, of course, you know, that's math. And then there's a story problem on there. Okay. You just need to make sure that when you're reading that story problem, you're being very careful when you're reading it. Okay. This is just, again, this is only a review for your math test. So keep that in mind. We'll have it on Wednesday so that you have a day to kind of review and go over it as you need to. Okay. You guys are going to do a good job. All right. We also are going to be having a normal math page on top of that. So guys, make sure you work really, really hard on that. Okay. You're going to do a good job.